Welcome back, Interior Alaska. Fred Brown here on a Saturday pulling down weekend sports duty. Tonight we're talking football, but before all that, we start on the beaten path. The 51st running of the Equinox Marathon went off this morning up on the hills of UAF over to Estradome. Neither of last year's men's or women's first place finishers returned to Fairbanks this year to defend their titles, but that didn't mean this wouldn't be a competitive run. David McKay of Iowa City came across the finish line first overall with a time of 2:49.21. On the women's side, Palmer native CHRISTIE Marvin sped through with a time of 3:18, which is a top 10 all-time women's finish and one of only a few to do it in under 3:20. Miss Marvin talked to us after about her strategy in taking the historic win.
I have it in me last year, and so this year I tried to run it a little more conservative for the first half, and keep in mind that even if I felt great, the race catches up with you. This one does. Especially some of those final hills. You're like, are you kidding?
Yeah, I mean, I've been planning on doing marathon for a while. Like I said, I didn't really have plans to do this from a long ways out, but a couple weeks ago I thought maybe I would do it, and so yeah, I'll do another marathon in the future, and who knows, maybe I'll even be back here. So.
Homecoming night on the gridiron for two interior schools. Big night last night, and starting things off, the Wolfpack hosting the Eielson Ravens in a smackdown. The scoring didn't take long to start as Charles Sudduth scrambled from 27 yards out to pay dirt. That's when Brendan Williams got going as he pounded out the first of his 3 rushing touchdowns. It kept going from there as the Pack went on to take this one 47-zip. Also in action, the Monroe Rams on their home turf. My weekday doppelganger Joe Cook was there and has more.
Monroe Rams were also in action tonight, hosting the Barrow Whalers in this Greatland Conference matchup. We go to the second quarter. Scooter Bynum started the game with a 54-yard punt return for a score. Monroe would tackle on a field goal in the first quarter. They're up 10-0. But in the second quarter, Tyler Wells to Scooter Bynum. This connection has been magnificent all season. 82 yards to the house. He catches it over 2 defenders, much like the play of the week this week. 16-0. Monroe after the missed extra point with 3:49 to go in the first half. After a 3-and-out, 32 seconds come off the clock in 2 plays. Wells goes to Bynum again, this time 41 yards. Bynum had over 100 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns just in the first half. Monroe led 23-0 at halftime. In the third quarter, Tyler Wells again finding his teammates. This time hits the big tight end Michael Neville for a 17-yard touchdown. Monroe's up 31-0. Wells had 4 touchdown passes tonight. And then the Rams get it done on defense. The pass intended for Anthony Barber, it's tipped. And Scooter Bynum, he does the rest. 43-yard pick six. Bynum scored on a punt return, 2 receiving touchdowns, and this pick six scored in all different ways. That came with 6:52 left in the third quarter. Monroe's up 38-0. The homecoming Monroe crowd is loving it, and it will pretty much stay that way. The Rams roll in this one, 51-8. Monroe fought their way through this one, finishing with just 11 players, and this win clinches them a playoff spot in the Greatland Conference.
First quarter was 7-0, so I knew that the intensity was up on the Barrow side. So eventually we got them to break down defensively. So it was a great game. I always want to make it into the playoffs, especially with our small type of conference. So and with 12 guys, well, actually 11 tonight because one guy got hurt. So we're just gonna have to heal up this week, and we got another one on Wednesday.
Monroe's got some exceptional players. They're great, Scooter Bynum and Tyler Wells, just incredible athletes, man, and the kids that make up the rest of the team have big hearts, man, and we can't say anything less about them.
Sunday night is football night in America, and this weekend, Bears head to the Steel City to take on Pittsburgh. For a preview of the showdown, here's Dan Patrick, Tony Dungy, and Rodney Harrison.
Welcome to the set, Football Night in America. Dan Patrick, Tony Dungy, and Rodney Harrison. It'll be Chicago and Pittsburgh next Sunday night here on NBC. Let me start with Chicago. Back-to-back comeback wins here. Defense did it again. But this is supposed to be Mark Trestman coming in to help Jay Cutler. What improvement have you seen?
Well, the big improvement I've seen in their offense is getting some plays out of the tight end. Martellus Bennett has helped take some pressure off Brandon Marshall and make some big plays.
The problem that I have with Jay Cutler, the first week I thought he played well and he made enough plays to win the football game. This week, it was very disappointing because he turned the ball over. And I think they depend on the defense too much to create turnovers and score. This is a different defense. They're no longer the cover 2 defense, coach. They're more man-to-man. And these corners, they're not built for man-to-man coverage. Look for them to be exploited in the future.
What about Pittsburgh here? Trying to get a handle. Are they an offensive-minded team? Or are they just an old defensive-minded team?
Well, they are going to have to be an offensive team. Ben Roethlisberger is going to have to win games for them. They've got to play differently than they have in the past. Get rid of the ball quicker, run the ball, take some pressure off Ben.
They have to run the ball like you talked about. And Big Ben, he holds the ball too long. And when you hold the ball too long and you don't have great offensive linemen, bad things happen. Yeah.
It'll be the Bears at the Steelers Sunday night on NBC. We'll see you on Football Night in America starting at 7 Eastern. For Rodney and Tony, I'm Dan Patrick.
And that's all I have on this Saturday night. I might be out, but we're not done. Nikki Carvajal hits the weather wall. Coming up next.